Belly fat is easy to gain and difficult to lose. If you're like me, you tried every exercise under the sun, every exercise program, every diet, and yet you're still here trying to get rid of your stubborn belly fat. I'm gonna go over the #1 exercise you can do today to lose your stubborn belly fat forever. And no, it's not running, HIIT, any form of crunch, or even cycling. If this is your first time here, my name is Adam Scott Murad. I'm a certified and registered performance nutritionist, online coach, and personal trainer. Before I go over how, I want to tell you why belly fat's so difficult to lose. And of course, you can skip this because I finally learned how to use chapters. You can go straight to how, but this is good from a mindset point of view to actually know why. So if we go back in time to 1997 and look at some research by Dr. Bouchard and his researchers, they actually discovered that certain areas of the body, like the abdomen, are genetically programmed to be the last to lose fat. So you can blame your parents after all. So even if you're doing everything right, genetics could be holding you back. But the good news is there is a solution. Of course, creating and sustaining a calorie deficit is key, and that's going to be mainly done through nutrition, through your actual diet. And in short, this is just burning more than you're consuming, but the right type of exercise can actually help accelerate this process. Now you might be thinking, Adam, I already know this. I've tried HIIT, I've tried Peloton, I've tried rowing, I've tried running. And yes, all of those can be effective, but they're often difficult to sustain in the long run. So I'm gonna tell you something that may surprise you and may not, but the #1 exercise to lose your belly fat for good is walking. And yes, you heard that right, walking. Walking is the only form of cardio, and yes, walking is cardio, I used to get stage lean. And we're not talking about stage lean here. Stage lean is very, very lean. It's shredded. It's well below 10%. I actually got to 5% body fat by walking. Well, using walking as my cardio, obviously following a calorie deficit too. So walking's low stress, low fatigue, and extremely versatile. It's the easiest form of cardio to do and to maintain over time. If we look at this 2021 meta-analysis, which is essentially a study of studies, you can see that walking is just as effective for fat loss as more intense forms of cardio like HIIT or running. The key is, as always, consistency. Okay, not that you need to get too caught up in the exact numbers, but I found this calculator online, which I thought was pretty good. And it shows you how many calories you'll burn by walking. Obviously it's rough, and there's one for running and other forms of activity, but we're talking about walking. Let's say at 230 pounds, which was roughly my starting weight, I walked 1 hour a day at moderate speed. I walked a bit faster, but let's say moderate speed. I would burn an additional 384 calories a day. Yes, that would drop as I lose weight, but you get the idea. And that's not bad at all for something that's extremely low impact. Yes, running or HIIT will burn more calories per hour, as you can see by using this calculator, but how sustainable is it? How likely are you to run every day? And I actually found a study where they walked for 12 weeks. Just 2.5 hours of brisk walking led to 3.5 pounds of fat loss. So now what you've been waiting for, maybe you haven't, but this is my personal routine that helped me get down to 10%, actually down to 5%, but let's talk about 10% because I don't want anyone to get to 5%. So my step target was between 12 to 15,000 a day. Actually, I lie, it started at 10,000 and some days it was 15, like off days, but between 10 and 15,000 a day. So back in the day when I used to try and lose weight, and I've never ever got this lean before, I used to focus on high intensity cardio. I used to put my calories down as low as possible. Literally at one point I was down to 900 calories. This wasn't sustainable. I felt like absolute garbage, as you can imagine. With walking this time around, when I got to 10% body fat, I was still eating around 2,600 to 2,800 calories a day. So now let's look at you and your routine. Let's establish a baseline. How many steps are you doing right now? Let's say you're doing 4,000 a day. I want you to aim for 6,000 a day until it becomes a routine. Say you're doing 7,000, add 2,000, let it become a routine, and then add more. Aim for anywhere between 8 to 12,000 steps a day, whatever's manageable for you. If you want to go all the way up to 15,000, you're more than welcome. So adding an extra 2,000 steps a day can take you anywhere between 15 to 20 minutes. And what I want you to do is get specific. Don't just say you're going to walk more. schedule it. Find out who you're gonna walk with, where you're gonna walk, when you're gonna walk. Use a step tracker to keep you accountable. It could be your phone, it could be a smartwatch, it could be a strap, whatever you want. And then with your calorie deficit plus the walking, aim to lose 0.5 to 1% of your body weight per week. If you're 200 pounds, that's like 1 to 2 pounds a week. Now I'm gonna give you 7 practical ways you can get more walking in. The first thing is, if you drive to work or you drive to your gym, park a bit further away from the entrance. That's gonna help you get some steps in initially, but that's only a small amount. What you can then do is, number 2, you can add in 15 to 20 minutes on an incline treadmill after your workout. That's another great way to get it in. Another way is just taking the stairs, ditching the elevator, like in the tube station, or anywhere you encounter an elevator, you can just take the stairs instead. Then what I suggest is scheduling post-meal walks. It not only helps with digestion, it's an easy time. So you finish your meal, maybe it's lunchtime, maybe it's breakfast, you go for a 10 to 20 minute walk. You're doing that 3 times a day. You're looking between 30 to 60 minutes extra a day on top of what you're currently doing. Let's say you've got a work call, but it's not super important. Take that while you're walking, walk in the office, walk outside the office, whatever suits you best. The next one is planning longer weekend walks. I don't drive much during the weekend, and I find this super easy. Walking everywhere, walking to the supermarkets, back, walking first thing in the morning, walking, wherever I need to go really. The last one is a bit more fringe, and you can do it if you want to. Some people find it extremely useful. It's getting like a walking desk or a walking pad to put under their desk. This means while you're doing your emails or some like more mundane tasks, what you can do is just walk. You're getting steps in while you're working. Walking isn't just exercise, it's a lifestyle change. When you become the person that walks more instead of driving, then you will find it super easy to stick to. It will become a permanent habit. And like I discussed in previous videos, combine this with resistance training, a consistent calorie deficit, and you have a winning formula to get rid of your belly fat forever. But remember, it's easy to eat back the calories you burn walking, so focus on your nutrition. At the heart of every fat loss journey, you need to focus on your nutrition, and this is just gonna accelerate your results. That's all for this video. If you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up. If you're new here and you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button and turn on those bell notifications. Any questions at all, drop them below. Have the best day ever, and we'll talk soon.